Hey guys, it's Jimmy Bremner, and Dexter, the boy, and we're on the urban trail. And really nice weekend here. My heart goes out to everybody that is, you know, suffering from the wildfire condition. It's been quite a year in Canada for fires. So wish you all the best with that. That said, a couple installments ago, I talked about saws, and I said that with a bow saw, you could just carry the blade, and then you could make the handle in the bush. And I said I'd show you, how to do that. And there it is. Basically, you cut with your Swiss Army Ranger. Okay, you cut some green wood. I believe this is maple, a little bit bigger round than your thumb. And you need about 3.5, 4 feet of it. And essentially you form the frame. You do some cutouts here so that support bar, can grip on the sides. You need some paracord. You always have to have paracord as part of your 5 C's, right? And then you take what is remaining and you use that and you bind it, spin it, and it gives you the tension to mount your blade. And you have actually a pretty good cutting tool. At the bottom right now, I just have a couple wire ties in there, or zap straps, or whatever you might call them. You could put paracord in there. Of course, you could use a piece of dowel off of a branch. In my kit, I usually have about 10 roofing nails, maybe 5, 6 drywall screws, and a couple of wing nuts and bolts. It's sort of just in case stuff, doesn't weigh a lot. But I carry that with me, and again, I can make that saw. I can lighten the load because I can tape this blade on my belt or put it in my shoulder strap on my pack. So, saw. That said, the Swiss Army Ranger, and again, I don't represent Swiss Army, but I've been around a long time, and I just don't think you can find a better tool, especially the Ranger series. It's like you don't even need a belt knife. They're so robust, they're so reliable, they're crazy sharp. And you know what? I actually use the awl, and that's what I use to drill the holes to hold the blade. And I use the awl probably more so than I actually use the saw or the blade or the can opener, the bottle opener. It's just such a handy tool to have. And this particular one has the eyelet in it, so if I had to sew, I can do that. So, I know you've got Leatherman and things like that out there. I talked before about a great knife and marginal pliers and great pliers and marginal knife. I really don't think you can go wrong with the Swiss Army Ranger knife. A bit expensive, but again, they'll last you a lifetime. You'll be handing them down to your kids. So let's talk about setting a camp. I got rained out up in Algonquin. When you set a camp, you need to think about the W's, okay? So one is wind. The direction of the wind, okay, you don't want that blowing, your tent down or blowing into your shelter. You got to find a place where the wind is not going to affect you so much, right? So wind, widowmakers, that's above you, all right? So you have to look up and make sure it's clear and there's not rotting branches and dead debris above you, because if the wind picks up, it is going to fall, and it'll kill you dead in the middle of the night. So you have to make sure there's no widowmakers above you. Water. You want to be proximate, close to water. Should you need to boil, should you need to, sustain yourself with water, you want to be close, but you don't, you want to be above it, because again, when you get heavy rain, that water source, that river, that creek, that stream, it's going to flood, and that's going to get into your camp and make you miserable. So make sure that you've found a good place that's close to water, no widowmakers, no prevailing wind that is going to be problematic to you. Again, if you look at the trees, especially pines, they get that windswept look that tells you the direction of the prevailing wind. It's pretty much a guarantee. So if you look at the trees, it'll tell you a lot about where you should set your shelter. And probably the last one is wigglers, okay? Bugs, red ants, things like that. You don't, if you've never encountered red ants or fire ants, it's an experience that you don't want to repeat. They're just nasty and unrelenting. So make sure that you cover those 4 W's off. Again, you've got the wind, the water, the widowmakers, and the wigglers. You've got that all, under control. As I said, next Saturday, I'm leaving for Colorado to the CTOA conference. And if I go away for 2-3 weeks, I don't carry much more than a shoulder bag. So I thought it'd be interesting that I'll show you how I pack and what I pack. It's really not a lot, and you can get by. I'll show you, because of TSA rules and things like that, there's not a lot of things that you can carry on an aircraft anymore. I'll show you, how I get around that. I actually, pick up what I need on the other end. Like you said, there's dollar stores and flea markets all over the world, and you can get really good bargains and things that'll get you by for a couple of weeks that are very reasonable, so you don't have to worry about carrying things. I can't tell you, how many tools and things I've had to throw in the garbage as I'm getting on a flight because I forgot. I just simply forgot, and it's frustrating. So I strip everything down. I pick up what I need on the other end, and like I said, I don't carry a lot. So I thought that'd be kind of an interesting little installment that I'll do later in the week as we get closer to Saturday. And like I said, I don't, I carry everything on my back. It's kind of a gray man thing. I don't, I carry a shoulder bag. I don't look like the tactical guy. I certainly don't look like this with my bush kind of craft gear on. And it's actually important when you're traveling is to not look like a tourist, because it draws criminality to you, and you can, whether you, it's unintentional, but you can stand out like a potential victim. So it's important that you dress for the environment that you're in. You're not attracting undue attention. So I will show you that as we get closer to the end of the week. So that said, this is my installment, just to catch up on Urban Trail. And so that's Jimmy Bremner and Dexter. Come on up. Dexter, the boy, on the trail. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Talk soon. Jimmy Bremner, Dexter, Urban Trail. I'm out.